outstanding.
I forgot all about it.
And Margie, since you say you weren't really so much a painter, but you've been around art, do you consider yourself a curator? Or an organizer, a fundraiser?
Well, just a
historian.
historian or just an appreciator as much as anything.
If you could start that again and say, when it comes to art, I'm more of a historian, appreciator, since I'm
Yeah, when it comes to art, I'm not an artist. But I've always loved art, taught art. With art, most of my friends were artists. My husband was an architect, so art has always meant a whole lot to me. I'm just glad to have been a part of it. And working at Rinaldo House for 25 years, that was a big part of it. Really enjoyed it out there.
I know things have slowed down for you a bit, but do you still participate in any community art projects or any art gatherings or functions?
Oh yeah, I go out to Rinaldo House, the things that are going on out there, and other places, with the art openings. I like to go and keep up with my friends who paint and have openings, and really enjoy it.
Aunt Marjorie, do you remember much about the 3 months y'all spent in Japan and how Japanese culture and art sort of influenced some things? You guys were early to come back and tell us about sushi, eating raw fish, things like that. Do you want to talk at all about your time in Japan?
One of my best friends, Carolyn Massey, was visiting me. She was doing some work over at the hospital, and I wanted to get her a date with somebody, and I knew this Japanese doctor, so I introduced her to him, and they fell madly in love. She was an only child of a very prominent Eastern North Carolina family. And then they decided to get married and move back to Japan. He was over here on a fellowship at the hospital, and he was going back to Japan. So they fell in love and moved back to Japan. And I think her family just hated us because we were the ones that got them together. Well, anyway, they went back there, and we went over to visit them, and it was wonderful. They had a wonderful life, and my husband was a very good photographer. He took a lot of pictures of things in Japan. We brought them back and took them to her family, showed them the pictures, and they fell in love with it, and they went back over there, so they didn't feel quite as bad about the marriages as they had. It worked out fine. They lived happily ever after and had 3 brilliant children, I must say. One was a doctor. I've forgotten what the other 2 did. But it worked out very well.
One last story I'd love to see if you remember and can tell. Always love to hear about one of your first dates with Uncle Lamar, where he actually built the picnic table and chairs and took you out and made a picnic and everything, and you had to cut it short and tell him you had another date scheduled that day. Do you remember?
I don't remember that. That's
That's okay.
Well,
I think what we should do is if Miss Marge can stay in that chair, I'm gonna put the wide lens back on.
Okay.
And we're gonna get you and Jan and Tom and you all stand there as a portrait.
yes.
Okay.
Okay, so keep her,
Yes.
I'm gonna change out,
Okay.
get them,